What is the length of the wooden strip required to frame a photograph of length and breadth 32 cm and 21 cm respectively? Well done. 53 cm is the right choice. The length of a soccer field is 100 meters and the width is 50 meters. What is the perimeter of the soccer field? Well reasoned. 300 meters is the correct choice. If a cuboid has length equal to 5 cm, breadth equal to 4 cm and height equal to 3 cm, then its base area is equal to. Great job! 20 cm is the accurate answer. What is the perimeter of the rectangle? Right again. 28 feet is a valid answer. A square of side 1 cm is attached to a square of side 3 cm. Find the perimeter of the figure. Perfect. 14 cm is the correct choice. What is the perimeter of a rectangle whose length is 5 cm and breadth is 4 cm? You chose 18 cm, and it is correct. If the area of each box is once qcm, then find the area of this whole figure. Smart pick, 16 cm is the correct choice. What is the greatest number of square units that will fit in the rectangle? Smart move. 21 square units is an accurate answer. A table measures 3 m long and 2 m wide. What is the perimeter of the table? Excellent choice. 10 is the right answer. How would you find the area of the pink model? Correct response. Multiply 4 by 3 is the most accurate answer. Michaela says that perimeter of the shape is 12 feet. Is she right? Right choice. Yes is the best answer. The length of a rectangular field is twice its breadth. Jamal jogged around it 4 times and covered a distance of 6 km. What is the length of the field? Clear logic? Your choice 500 mm is sound and 100% true. Ryan is planning to buy a square house with the area between 100 m and 10,000 qm and the perimeter is 400 mm. What is the correct house for him? Sharp thinking. 10,000 qm is the right choice. What is the perimeter of a regular hexagon with side 2 cm? Great thinking. 12 cm is the right choice. The perimeter of a square is the total length of all the sides of the square. Hence, we can find the perimeter of a square by adding all its 4 sides. On track. True is the correct answer. Perimeter of a square and a rectangle is same. If a side of the square is 15 cm and one side of the rectangle is 18 cm, find the area of the rectangle. You got it. Your choice 2/16 cm is right. Sweetie runs around a square park of side 75 m. Bulbul runs around a rectangular park with length 60 m and breadth 45 m. Who covers less distance? Nice selection. Sweetie is the correct and valid answer. Perimeter of the pentagon dashi for whose side is? Nicely done. Ka is a solid answer. Find the cost of fencing a rectangular park of length 175 mm and breadth 125 mm at the rate of rupee 12 per meter. Bravo, Oz 7200 is the answer. What is the area of this rectilinear figure? Correct. 52 square centimeters is the right answer. How many faces does a triangular prism have? Good thinking. 5 is the right answer. Q5 the area of the figure in is. Strong choice. 5 is the right answer. What is the perimeter for the above picture? Solid response. 20 cm is a valid. Verify if the given statement is true or false. Sanjita wants to fence her garden with ropes, so she should find the area of the garden. Good job. Your answer false works well here. Length of a rectangular field is 250 mm and width is 150 mm. How many times she should run around the field to cover a distance of 4 km? Exactly. 5 makes sense and it is right choice. A floor is 5 long and 4 mm wide. A square carpet of sides 3 mm is laid on the floor. Find the area of the floor that is not carpeted. You're right. 11 qm is the correct answer. You are given a wire and you are asked to make different closed shapes with it. Which of the following shape will have maximum area? Nice work. You chose circle and it is correct. Ravi painted the outside of a box on all sides except the bottom. If the box measures 2 x x 1.5 m, how much surface did he paint? Excellent. 11 cube is a brilliant choice. Area of a trapezium is 110 square meter and its height is 11 m. If one of the parallel side is 7 m, then other parallel side is. Valid point 13 is true. The perimeter of an isosceles triangle is 28 cm. If its unequal side is 8 cm, what will be the length of the other 2 sides? Well picked. 10 cm is the correct answer. A rectangular park is 50 mm long and 25 mm wide. If an athlete takes 4 rounds along its boundary, what distance does he cover? On track, 600 m is the correct answer. The area of a rectangular piece of cardboard is 36 cm and its length ad 9 m. What is the breadth of the cardboard? Right choice. 4 cm is the best answer. What will be the cost of tiling of a rectangular plot of area 800 sqm if the cost of tiling is 100 sq? M is rups 6. Bravo, rupees 48 is the answer. The side of a square is 10 cm. How many times will the new perimeter become if the side of the square is doubled? Excellent choice. 2 times is the right answer. The area of a rectangular field is 1600 sqm. If the length of the field is 18 m, find the perimeter of the field. Solid response. 200 mebard is a valid choice. If you wanted to find out how much paint you needed to cover an entire wall, would you find area or perimeter? Nice work. You chose area and it is correct. Length of a rectangle is 3 times its breadth. Perimeter of the rectangle is 40 cm. Calculate its breadth. You're right. 5 cm is the correct answer. Apollo went to a park 20 mm long and 10 mm wide. She took 1 complete round of it. The distance covered by her is. Great job. 6 cm is the accurate answer. If an isosceles triangle has perimeter 23 and 2 sides are equal of 9 cm, then what will be the third side? Smart move. 5 cm is an accurate answer. Sushmita runs 8 rounds of a rectangular ground of sides 150 mm and 60 m. Find the distance covered by her. Your answer 3360 mm works well here. If the measurement of the sides of an irregular polygon are given, then it is possible to find perimeter. Exactly. True makes sense and it is right choice. A regular shape with 6 sides has 11 cm length of its 2 sides. Tell the perimeter of 1.5 of that shape. You got it? Your choice 49.57 cm is right. Ben wanted to make a dog pen with an area of 36 square feet. What could the sides of his dog pen be? Well picked. 9x40 is the correct answer.
The area of a rectangle is 72 square units. One side length is 9 units. What is the other side length?
Smart pick. 8 units is the correct choice. The area of trapezium is 24 square meters. If its height is 6 m, then sum of its parallel sides is. Valid point. mm is true. The perimeter of a rectangular piece of cardboard is 6 m. Its breadth is 1 m. Find its length. Correct. Or is the right answer. The cost of fencing a rectangular park of length 175 mm and breadth 125 m to rest 12 per meter is. Good thinking. Or 7200 is the right answer. The cost of fencing a square park of a side 100 mm at the rate of Rs 10 per meter will be. Strong choice. Rs 4000 is the right answer. Two cubes with 9 cm edge are joined end to end. Find the length of the newly formed solid. Well reasoned. 18 cm is the correct choice. The numerical value of the perimeter and area will be the same for a square of side 2 cm. Clear logic. Your choice true is sound and 100% true. The perimeter of a regular pentagon is 100 cm. The length of each of its sides is dash. Great thinking. 20 cm is the right choice. What can be defined as the path or the boundary that surrounds a closed plane figure? Well done. Perimeter is the right choice. If the edge of a cube is doubled, how many times will its surface area will increase? You chose 4 times, and it is correct.
If the perimeter of a rectangle is 28 cm and its length is 10 cm, what is its width?
Correct response. 4 cmers is the most accurate answer. The area of a rectangular table, having length equal to 11 cm and breadth equal to 8 cm, is dash. Sharp thinking. 88 cm is the right choice. If the base of the triangle is doubled and height is halved, its area will be dash. Nice selection. Same is the correct and valid answer. What will be the formula for the one side of the square if its perimeter is 36 cm? Excellent. 36 divided 4 is a brilliant choice. Which 2D shape uses the following formula to find its area equal to x? Right again. Rectangle is a valid answer. The area of a square is 36 square centimeters. What is the length of each side? Perfect. 6 cm is the correct choice. A regular pentagon has a perimeter of 50 cm. What is the length of one side? Nicely done. 10 cm is a solid answer. If you are finding the distance around an object, what are you solving for? Right again. Perimeter is a valid answer. A table measures 3 m long and 2 m wide. What is the perimeter of the table? Good job. Your answer 10 works well here. The amount of region enclosed by a plane closed figure is called its dash. Great thinking. Area is the right choice. Dash is the distance covered along the boundary forming a closed figure. Excellent choice. Perimeter is the right answer. What is the perimeter of a rectangle with length 12 cm and breadth 8 cm? Well reasoned. 40 cm is the correct choice. If I wanted to decorate the edge of a cake, that would be an example of. Correct. Perimeter is the right answer. The figure having equal sides and equal angles is known as dash figure. Strong choice. Regular closed figure is the right answer. The distance covered along with the boundary of rectangle is called its.
Smart move. Perimeter is an accurate answer.
What is the perimeter of an equilateral triangle whose side is 25 cm?
Clear logic. Your choice 75 cm is sound and 100% true.
A page is 25 cm long and 20 cm wide. Find the perimeter of this page.
Well picked. 90 cm is the correct answer.
The sum of lengths of all sides of a plane figure is called its dash. Well done. Perimeter is the right choice. The area of rhombus whose diagonals are of lengths 10 cm and 8.2 cm.
Smart pick. 41 cm skew is the correct choice.
Find the perimeter of a triangle measuring 10 cm, 14 cm, and 15 cm.
On track. 39 cm is the correct answer.
If I wanted to fence in my backyard, that would be an example of.
Great job. Perimeter is the accurate answer.
If the side of a square is 25 mm, then the area of the square is.
Nice work. You chose 625 skew mm and it is correct.
The length of the boundary of a closed figure is called its dash.
Nicely done. Perimeter is a solid answer. The perimeter of triangle whose sides are 5, 2 cm and 3 cm. You got it. Your choice 10 cm is right.
What is the perimeter of rectangle whose sides are 5 mm and 4 mm?
Solid response. 80 mm is a valid choice.
What is area of a rectangle of breadth 15 cm and length 17 cm?
Excellent. 255 cm square is a brilliant choice. If perimeter of a square is 120 cm, what is the value of one side? Exactly. 30 makes sense and it is right choice.
Perimeter of a square 728 cm. Then the measure of its side is.
Correct response. 182 cm is the most accurate answer.
A triangle of sides 12 cm, 5 cm and 13 cm find its perimeter.
Nice selection. 30 cm is the correct and valid answer. Find the perimeter of a pentagon having side of length 5 cm. Perfect. 25 cm is the correct choice.
The circumference of a circle is also the dash of a circle.
Perimeter is the answer. The area of a square bed having sides of length 5 mm is dash. You're right, 25 cm is the correct answer. What is the perimeter of a regular hexagon of sides 6.5 cm?
Sharp thinking. 39 cm is the right choice. What is the formula for finding the perimeter of a square?
Good thinking. Chap is the right answer.
The area of a rectangle of length 2 cm and breadth 1 cm is.
Right choice. 2 cm square is the best answer. The amount of space inside an object or figure is called. You chose area, and it is correct.
Can a shape have the same area but a different perimeter?
Valid point. Yes is true. The perimeter of a square with a side length of 5 cm is. Excellent. 20 cm is a brilliant choice.
The amount of space enclosed by a figure is called dash.
Strong choice. Area is the right answer. The total boundary length of a closed figure is called. Exactly. Perimeter makes sense and it is right choice. The side of a square whose perimeter is 64 cm is dash. Good job, your answer 16 cm works well here. How do you find the perimeter of irregular polygons? You chose by adding all sides, and it is correct. Perimeter of an equilateral triangle of side 20 cm is? On track, 60 cm is the correct answer. Equation to find the perimeter for a regular nonagon. Smart move. 9th side is an accurate answer. Apogee is 25 cm long and 20 cm wide. Find the perimeter. Nicely done. 90 cm is a solid answer. Find the perimeter of a rectangle with side 3 and 5. Good thinking. 16 is the right answer. Do you multiply or add when you find the perimeter? Solid response. Add is a valid choice. What is the area of a square with a length of 4 cm? Clear logic. Your choice 16 square cm is sound and 100% true. Find the perimeter of a square whose side is 15 cm. Well done. 60 cm is the right choice. The volume of a cuboid is length x breadth plus height. Great job. False is the accurate answer. The distance around an object can be found using. Bravo. Perimeter is the answer. Find the relation 2D shapes. Area 3D shapes dash. Correct response. Volume is the most accurate answer. Perimeter of an equilateral triangle is dash. Nice selection. 3x side is the correct and valid answer. The distance around an object is called the valid point. Perimeter is true. Which faces of cuboid have the same area? Well picked. All of these is the correct answer. What 2 things we need to find out area? You got it? Your choice question is wrong is right. The space inside an object is called its. Nice work. You chose area and it is correct. Q3, the area of a square of side 1 cm is? Great thinking. 1 cm is the right choice. This simple means the act of measuring. Smart pick. Measurement is the correct choice. Area of which figure is length x breadth. Correct. Rectangle is the right answer. Fill in the blanks. 1 comma is equal to dash hectares. Excellent choice. 100 is the right answer. What is the perimeter of a rectangle? Sharp thinking. 2 is the right choice. How many faces does a cuboid have? Well reasoned. 6 is the correct choice. Shape of all the faces of cube are? Right choice. Square is the best answer. Area of parallelogram is equal to? Right again. Base x height is a valid answer. Which of these is a 3D shape? You're right. Cube is the correct answer. Perimeter is measured in dash. Perfect. Given units is the correct choice. The perimeter of a square is? Good job. Your answer 4x side works well here. Perimeter of square equal to dash. Correct response. Fork side is the most accurate answer. Area is measured in dash. Smart pick. SQ units is the correct choice. perimeter of rectangle equal to? Well done. 2 is the right choice. Area of rectangle is? Excellent choice. Loxby is the right answer. 435. Solid response 6,435 meters is a valid choice. 1 equal to? Right choice. 100 cm is the best answer. Kg equal to? Right again, 1000 cm is a valid answer. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format. Clear logic. Your choice. Contact Narayan Changda on Facebook is sound and 100% true.